Welcome guys to the Meet Damien live stream. I am Damien, and in today's live stream we're going to talk about Bitcoin once again, but we're actually going to first start off by talking about total market cap 3, which is the total market cap of cryptocurrencies except for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So basically this is showing you your altcoins, right? And right now there's about $891 billion in altcoins right now. We're looking at the daily time frame here. And what I'm spotting on the chart here that has me a little bit concerned, and this is the reason why I titled this video, double top on total market cap 3. What does this mean for your altcoins? I see potential double top here where, you know, total market cap 3 went up to as high as $927 billion here on January 6th. And then right over here, a slightly lower high at $923 billion on January 14th. That could be identified as a potential double top here for altcoins, which means that if this plays out to the downside, it means that's it, right? There's not going to be that much more money going into altcoins. And we're probably going to see this play out to the downside where we see a lot less money in altcoins, and maybe we go down to like the low $830 billion mark here, like we saw back here towards the end of December. This has me a little bit concerned. Okay, we're also coming up on some resistance here, where this 50 moving average initially is acting as resistance. We actually got above it here on Wednesday, a couple of days ago here on January 14th. And we weren't able to stay above it. We got above it just for that, you know, intraday, but we didn't actually close above it. And now here on Thursday, we got a red candle here. And then Friday, we're kind of getting a little bit of a green candle, but it was looking a lot worse earlier today. We're getting a little bit of a rally and a recovery here now that Wall Street is no longer around. I feel like Wall Street, they were the ones that kind of dictated what was happening with Bitcoin and crypto for today, because as soon as they came on board, they started selling their Bitcoin, and it dropped the price of Bitcoin down, and it dropped crypto down in general. But we're getting a little bit of a relief rally now, because guess what? Wall Street closes up their business. They're done for the day at like 4 p.m., which is when I started this live stream, you know, about 10 minutes ago. And we're getting a little bit of a bounce. But yeah, I am a little bit concerned about this double top here, which could send us back down to like, you know, 830 billion. That's about, we'll lose about another $60 billion if we actually come back down to this level here. And if we're not gonna push past this 50-day moving average, then that's it. You know, that's as much money as is gonna go into altcoins. And you know, we could see the lower levels that we did back here in December, which was confluent with the levels that we had back here in July of last year. And this downward trend still stays intact, I guess, for now. You know, with total market cap just not being able to do what it needs to do. I want to see total market cap increase and get up to at least this 200 moving average, this red line here. Okay, that's at $971 billion. That would be another $80 billion going into altcoins. Okay, but I mean, who's putting money into altcoins right now? Because it seems like it's not enough to get us to go up to that 200-day moving average. If we can get above that 200-day moving average, I'd be a lot more bullish on altcoins. And of course, you know, I'll probably be bullish on Bitcoin if we actually get up, you know, to this 200 moving average as well. But that's total market cap 3, and that's what I'm a little bit worried about with total market cap 3. I guess I should probably move on and take a look at Tether dominance here, see if people are selling their altcoins to get into Tether here. And you can see on the daily time frame here, Tether dominance has been dropping, but it got support off the 50 moving average. So, you know, this green line is pushing the price up, or at least providing support here. And with Tether dominance increasing, that means people are selling their altcoins and possibly their Bitcoin to go into Tether, to go into stable coins right now. They're cashing out, they're taking their profits right now. Now we'll see how Tether dominance ends up. If we get rejected off this 21 EMA, that would be a good sign that Tether dominance is not going to just continue increasing on us. You know, like we saw back in October and November. You guys know how brutal it was back in October and November when we saw Tether dominance increasing, because people were getting scared out of their minds that crypto and Bitcoin was topping out, and that the bear market was starting. And then here in November and December, it started flattening out a little bit. And then here in January, we saw, tether dominance come down because people started putting their money to work into altcoins again, and crypto and Bitcoin. But if this, ends up being a support here and we bounce up and we go to higher highs, that's not going to be good. That's going to probably mean that the bear market's still intact, and we're probably going to see some lower prices here for the altcoins. So I'm a little bit worried about this as well, okay, with tether dominance getting support off the 50-day. We want tether dominance to get pushed down so that way altcoins can actually go up in price. But let me see what you guys have to say in the chat here. Let me try to catch up in the chat here. Trying to say hello to anybody, see what you guys are saying. Oh, a little bit quiet today. Probably because I got like a little bearish undertone here, but it's understandable. No one wants to look at crypto and Bitcoin when the prices are going down. It's kind of understandable here. But yeah, let's go into looking at Bitcoin now. All right, because Bitcoin did get a little bit of bounce, so maybe there might be some hope. Okay, that we're not going to just continue crashing down for Bitcoin and altcoins here. Right now, we see the price of Bitcoin's at $95,378. It's only down $200 today, but it was down a lot further than that this morning. We're slightly down 0.22% today. And we came down to a support level that I identified in my previous live streams that I continue to have marked off on the chart here as $94,500 level here, which was, previous top here, candlewick top here in December 9th and December 10th, and it also acted as resistance here on January 6th. Okay, so now that this was previous resistance, could it act as support? Are we able to actually consolidate at higher prices here and maybe make a bull flag to get out of here and go to higher prices for Bitcoin? I don't know. Remains to be seen. Okay, but this is a support area that is very crucial for us to try to defend. If we're not able to defend this area, then we could probably see ourselves come right back down to this other level that I marked off on the chart. That's the $91,400 level, which is now confluent with this 21 EMA, this exponential moving average. So on the daily time frame here, that 21 EMA could act as support, and if it does, granted, it might take some time. I don't think we're just gonna. It'd be really bad if we just drop down there right now today or tomorrow. But give it a few days, and then this 21 EMA is also going to be continue climbing up, and maybe we make a higher low at like 92K or 93K and get bounced off of this 21 EMA to go up to higher prices here. And then we could still say, hey guys, we're still making higher highs on Bitcoin and higher lows. All right. But yeah, I think, if Bitcoin's not going to stay above 94,500 here, we could easily come down to 91,400 or somewhere in between. Between 94,000 and 91,000 is the target to the downside for now. And we'll see how this weekend ends up playing out here. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna get rid of this Fibonacci for now. I can always draw another Fibonacci. I just want to get that clutter off the charts here. But yeah, as far as I see it, Bitcoin needs to stay above 94,500, and if it stays above 94,500, we still have this green line here. This is the 50-day simple moving average. Has been acting as resistance over the last couple of days. We got above it on Wednesday, only for a little bit. We didn't get a chance to close above it. And then on Thursday, yesterday, we got above it a little bit, just a little bit, only for us to close below it. And I think this, 50-day simple moving average is currently sitting at 96,800. I feel like that is going to act as resistance for now. So if you guys want to start looking for shorts again, I think 96,800 is probably a good area to try to look for shorts at this point. I mean, you could short Bitcoin right now if you're inclined to do so, if you're bearish, right? But I think a better area would be if you want to really snipe in the entry. If you want to be like a sniper on your entry, let's try to short that 50-day simple moving average if you can. Okay, so 96,800 if you're able to do so. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be exact. It could be 96,600 and 96,700, but somewhere in that area I think is a good area to try to short Bitcoin. If you're looking for a head short, if you're looking to try to play and make some money to the downside here, that's where I would be looking for shorts right now. Let me see what you guys have to say in the chat. Let me come back and chat. I see a few more people have joined right now. I thought I saw Cameron in the chat. Let me see what you guys says. Cameron says we need to avoid 70K at all costs for January timeframe. That would be very brutal if we actually went down to $70,000. Seeing that we're at like $95,000 right now, that'd be very brutal if we actually go down to that level there, Cameron. Not saying that it's not possible, but that would be very brutal, because that would be almost like a 25% drop from where we are right now. And I'm not sure if people can suffer through that kind of trauma with Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin's going to drop down to 70K, I can only imagine what the altcoins will do. And you know, if Bitcoin's going to drop 25%, that means the altcoins are probably going to drop at least more than that, right? 35, 45% more. So I would not want to see that if that's the case. But you know, anything's possible here in crypto for the most part, and that is actually possible. It's dropping 25% in 1 month. All right, guys, let's see. 000 says gonna miss buying cheap Satoshis. I mean, yeah. I mean, if we go down to 70K or 80K, that's going to be an opportunity to buy some cheaper Bitcoin and some cheaper Satoshis. And Bitcoin does increase in price over time as the years go by. Sometimes we have a bad year or two, but usually we end up getting more good years that push us back above to higher prices with Bitcoin. So if you're able to get those cheaper prices on Bitcoin, I would definitely take advantage of that. So if Bitcoin's going to have a bad year, if we're going to have a bear market for Bitcoin in 2026, then this might be the time to start dollar cost averaging. Maybe not right now, and we'll see if we can actually, you know, get Bitcoin at $80,000 or cheaper than that. But now's the time to start preparing. Like if you got to go to work, you know, save up some money, you know, put a little extra money aside, knowing that you're gonna buy Bitcoin later on at like $70,000 or $60,000 later on this year. You know, keep stacking up that fiat money, so that way you can go ahead and put it into Bitcoin later on when Bitcoin does go on sale. All right, but yeah, guys, you know, we're having a slight red day. That's why I'm wearing this red shirt. It's the same red shirt that you see me in my profile picture on the Meet Damien channel. So I figured, hey, you know what? Why don't I wear this shirt for today since we're having a red day? Let's see, the other altcoins, I believe the other altcoins are also in the red as well. Some of them are still in the green, like Dash just refuses to go down, up 10.6% today. Oh boy. Ethereum is down, XRP down. Most of these altcoins, they were down earlier when Bitcoin was down. It seems like they're now starting to get a little bit of recovery. So we got like a little bit of a mixed bag here. Some coins are in the green, some coins are in the red. But it was a red day for most of them earlier today. Let's get into the 1 hour time frame. This is the time frame that I like using for day trading. And I want to see what might happen next on the 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin. So we are getting some support here on the 50 moving average here for Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame. That's good to see. You know, as long as Bitcoin's able to do that, we could try to maybe bounce off and go to higher prices. Maybe we kind of rival and try to retest what we did here on Wednesday when we saw Bitcoin at 97,900. Almost threatening to go above 98K. That would be nice. Maybe this was a buying opportunity for today. I know this morning I was shorting Bitcoin, and I did pretty well on that short. Ended up getting like a 50% gain using like 40x leverage. Was it 50%? I think it was 50. Yeah, might have been more than that, but it was good enough for me, because I don't want to give back the gains that I made, but I guess I could have flipped the short to a long, because I shorted Bitcoin. What did I get in at? Let me just see if I can pull up my previous position history here. But I was in a Bitcoin short. I got in at 95,700. I took it down to 94,500. And yeah, I made about $97 profit on that. All right, so yeah, And I was busy today doing some other things with my businesses and stuff like that. I didn't want to actually go into like another long or a short. I had a long on Pengu earlier this morning, and when I saw Bitcoin was starting to, you know, take a turn for the worse, I actually closed that long for like break even on my Pengu long there. 000 says he loves the transparency. Yeah, you know, I get some wins and I get some losses. You know, I don't have a perfect win rate. If I had a perfect win rate, you guys would probably not believe anything that I say, right? Because we all know day trading's hard as it is, and even if you were right, you could still be wrong, you know, initially and get stopped out, and then see the trade actually go your way. So that happens to me as well sometimes. You know, when I get stopped out, you know, sometimes the trade actually goes in the direction that I thought it was gonna go, but you know, I get stopped out on a liquidity grab or something like that. But I guess you could go for a high win rate. Like if you're up like $1 or $2, if you're up like a 0.5% or whatever, you could just close the trade and be like, hey, I always win every trade, right? But it's like, are you increasing your P&L, right? I had a pretty good P&L. I mean, I posted up on here on TikTok. Let me just show you guys here. But I posted up a video here on TikTok just showing the P&L recently, and yeah, you know, this was a few days ago, but you know, my 30-day P&L is up 96%. So how could you not be up 96% after we had a good, you know, month of January, or you know, a couple of good weeks here, right? And then that day I was up 35%, and then over the last 7 days I was actually down slightly because I had a bad weekend last weekend with the market trying to like taking a dip on us and stuff like that, and me not catching that. You know, but being only down 2% for like the last 7 days, that's not too bad, right? And that shows you, like, you know, I'm not perfect, right? You know, I in the long term I do all right, you know, but like I can't make everything perfect. So there you go. All right, thank you Q Mecca for liking the live. You're spamming the likes here. Appreciate that. We got up to like 300 likes here on TikTok. I like that. That's cool. You're saying, bro, can you help me on Binance and Doge? What do you need help with? Do you want me to take a look at the charts for Binance and Doge? I mean, yeah, for Binance Coin and Doge. Let me know if that's a request or not. I don't know what you mean by that. But let me just finish off on the analysis here on Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin gonna get the momentum to go to higher prices this weekend? Because if so, then we could probably have a good weekend here for crypto. After Wall Street got done with their bullshit selling, maybe we could actually have a good weekend. So like on the 1 hour time frame, we have a MACD crossover to the upside that came in 3 o'clock this afternoon. So I would probably be looking for Bitcoin to go to higher prices maybe later on tonight, maybe during this live stream. We're looking at Bitcoin at 95,400 right now. This MACD crossover to the upside gives me hope that maybe we could see prices go up to the upside for Bitcoin. Last time we had a MACD crossover to the upside was like back here on Wednesday morning, and I think that was enough to cause the price of Bitcoin to jump up a little bit, right? Yeah. So maybe we might have a good weekend here. So maybe my little thumbnail here to give you guys a scare about a possible crypto crash, maybe that's not going to happen this weekend. Maybe it might happen next week or next weekend. But I like the fact that we are getting that MACD crossover, and we're getting a little bit of buying pressure. Those green candles are starting to show up here. You see that? Or do I need to zoom in? Yeah, we got a little bit of green candle showing up on the MACD on the 1 hour, so that's good to see. And then of course we got a green buy dot here. That's good to see here. That came in at 12 o'clock this afternoon on the East Coast. And there's some hopium there, guys. There's a little bit of hopium, right? For possibly a good weekend in crypto. I want to move this thing down. Let me do that. Okay. Let's see what the 4 hour time frame. Let's go into a higher time frame. Yeah, of course we had the MACD showing that selling pressure came in starting yesterday afternoon, last night, and this morning. However, selling pressure dying down, probably because Wall Street is no longer around to sell Bitcoin anymore. Okay? So now that those guys are going home for the weekend, doing whatever the hell they're doing on the weekend, maybe we can actually see Bitcoin go up in price this weekend, okay? Because we got the selling pressure dying down here on the 4-hour time frame, okay? So I like that. That's a little bit of hopium there for you guys. And in longer time frames, let's see, on the daily time frame, I mean, the buying pressure is still there. It kind of came down today, but you know, buying pressure could always increase again. We'll take it day by day, right? But I think we're right. We had a little bit of a pullback, all right? Wall Street came in. They punched us in the mouth, but we got back up. We dusted ourselves off, and Wall Street is no longer around to bully us anymore. So, and that's the narrative that I'm going with, guys, because it's just too ironic and coincidental that every time 9 a.m. Eastern time, we get Wall Street selling Bitcoin whenever they can. Now, we actually had a good week last week because Wall Street, instead of selling their Bitcoin, they were buying Bitcoin on top of the retail investors that were buying Bitcoin. So that's the reason why we actually had a pretty good week. And I was noticing this last week. But then things kind of flipped this week where Wall Street was going back to what they were doing in December, where as soon as they open up for business, they start selling Bitcoin. And of course, that drops the price because they got a lot more Bitcoin to sell than any one of us in retail, right? They got, what, BlackRock, billions of dollars of Bitcoin that they can sell at any time that they want. If they want to. And that's hard. That's hard to keep the price of Bitcoin up when they're doing that. Anyways, we got Laureen and spamming the likes there. Thank you, Laureen, for smashing that like button. Appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't smashed that like button already, go ahead and smash that like button. I think maybe I made the title of the video too bearish here, but I think there's a possibility here that we could see a Bitcoin or crypto rally in the weekend. I know some people are getting their paychecks on Friday, and you know, some people are actually putting their money into crypto, taking advantage of the cheaper prices that we've had. You know, we've seen prices go down over the last couple of months, so this might be an opportunity for some people to put their money to work after they just got done working this week, and maybe we might get an altcoin rally this weekend. And I'm liking this candle so far. This daily candle here on Bitcoin is turning into like a hammer candle, and a hammer candle is a price reversal candle, and that can send us to higher prices. For, you know, usually if you get some follow through, you'll see some green candles. Maybe we'll get a green candle tomorrow and going into Sunday. But the thing I'm worried about is freaking Wall Street, guys. I mean, if we get a good weekend where Bitcoin goes up to 98K or even 100K, Wall Street is gonna sell that on Monday. I get that feeling. I just know how they play the playbook here, and they've been doing it the last few months here, and I think they'll take advantage of selling Bitcoin at 98K or 100K if we actually do that this weekend. So just be on the lookout for that, right? If we have a good weekend, if you're a day trader, maybe you might want to close out your longs on Sunday night or before Sunday night, because that's when Wall Street, the futures markets, opens up, and they might try to attack Bitcoin around like 6 p.m. Eastern time when the futures market opens up on Sunday. So I'm giving you guys like the playbook and what to look out for, what I'm looking out for on Sunday. If Bitcoin does start rallying up to 98K or above that, I think Wall Street might try to click the sell button on us on Sunday night. And for damn sure, they'll try to do that again on Monday morning. I don't think they're going to join the party, okay? Because they already joined the party back in like 2024 when the Bitcoin ETF came out. So they've already made their money. They already doubled. They bought Bitcoin at 40 grand back in 2024 when that Bitcoin ETF came out. And they already doubled their money, and they're okay with clicking that sell button, clicking that sell button, clicking that sell button on us. So just giving you guys the heads up, what to look out for this weekend. Hopefully it helps you guys maintain your sanity with the craziness with the day trading here. Let's see. Kumika says, can I help you make a small profit? You're new on trading. Kumika, I can help you by if you go onto the bio to my TikTok. There's a link for my Discord. You can join the Discord. It's free to join, and there you can come join us here on the Meet Damien Discord server. And I give you guys my heads up about what I'm seeing on the charts here. I can analyze your coins. if you're interested in like trade setups here, I put in like trade setups, and there's other traders here that are doing pretty well, and they put up their trade setups as well on the Meet Damien server. So it's not just me. You got other guys here that are experienced in trading, and the traders that are experienced, right? They show their gains here. Well, maybe not Cameron. Cameron just showed you that he actually lost money, but Cameron actually does pretty well here. That's some more. So Cameron's very transparent here. He actually shows you when he loses, right? But then he shows you his wins. He shows you some more wins here. Okay, and of course, yeah. I mean, there's me putting up my Bitcoin short the other day. Was that Bitcoin? Yeah, that was a Bitcoin short. And then you know, Cameron with 1,000% gain, right? So like that's what we do here. You know, we have a little section here to put in your gentle brags after you do make your gains here on the Meet Damien Discord server. But yeah, we usually we stay in touch here. We share ideas, we share trading strategies, and share trading setups here. And you can learn a lot just by going onto this Meet Damien Discord here. Okay, and like I said, the link to join is right here on the bio. Okay, if you have a hard time, yeah, I will follow you back right now. If you have a hard time using that link, I can send you one. If you just message me on TikTok, I'll be able to send you. I know some people have been having a hard time actually clicking on this link because, you know, there's another link here for WEEX exchange, and that's kind of like superseding this other one here. So you can just message me and I'll be able to give you the link to the Discord. But if you want to get started with the day trading or just spot trading, regular, just, you know, if you don't want to do leverage trading, then you can just click on this link, this WEEX exchange link, and you'll be able to trade on WEEX just like me and some other traders here, and start making those gains whether we go up or down on crypto. We like to make money going up or down, and WEEX has some good promotions here. If you do get started with WEEX, they do have like these promotions here where if you put like $3,000 on the exchange and hold it for 3 days, they'll give you like a free trade where you could do like 20x leverage with like $100 margin, and they'll give that to you for free, and you can just pick whether you want a long or short, and it's like a free trade. All right, and they got these bonuses here. Obviously, if you don't have $3,000, you can get started with as little as $100, or even do like a $500 deposit here, and you hold it for 3 days, and then they'll give you like a free trade to use here on WEEX. And they got like up to like $30,000 of bonus airdrops that they can do for your trades here. Okay, so that's a link that you can click on and get started with WEEX. And for my YouTube guys, you got the referral code right there in front of you on the Meet Damien YouTube channel right there. But if you need to, you can just go into the description to my channel, and I got the link there for WEEX. I like working with WEEX. I actually have a personal relationship with one of the guys that works there. So if you guys run into any problems with your account or anything like that, let me know, and then you can let me know in Discord, and then we'll get that issue fixed right away. It's good to have someone that, you know, that actually works at WEEX, so we can fix any account issues. But normally there's not that many account issues. It's very easy to get started with WEEX. All you need is an email. They don't do KYC unless you want to, and you don't need a VPN either. All you need is an email to get started. All right. Mark says he has $1,000. Okay. Congratulations. I don't know, what do you plan on doing with that $1,000? Are you gonna invest it, or are you just trying to let us know that you have it? Lorene, thank you for liking the live there. And let's see. OFG put a link for the Discord. Thank you, OFG, for putting that link to help people out there. Appreciate that. That's the Meet Damien Discord link right there. Yeah, I know. The way I set it up, I wish TikTok had like a better layout in the bio where I could do multiple links, but that's it right there. If you're watching me on TikTok on the computer, you'll be able to copy and paste it. But yeah, I understand it's a little bit hard to do that because I got the other link in there too. Let's see. OFG, what he said, he's till the end for you, you know what I'm saying, alright. Lorraine wants me to check out C-Pool. Is that the request from Lorraine? Alright, let me go ahead and write that down. You guys have requests, let me know. I'm starting to take those requests. We'll take a look at C-Pool for Lorraine. And yeah, I think that's it for now. Let me just check to see the messages here. Alright. QMecca, you said you have a budget of a certain amount of dollars and that you're using it on Binance. Is that a good start? You can get started day trading with as little as $1 if you want to. And I mean, your gains, your profits are only going to probably be like in the pennies or $1. But you know, if you increase your margin, like I've done trades where I did like $20 on a trade, and if I'm able to, you know, get 100% gains, I'll be able to double my money and turn $20 into $40. So you can do that, and that's probably the best if that's all you can afford, and that's the you know. If that's all you can afford as of now, that's probably a good way to get started, because you know, if you can turn a small account into a big account, then that means you're doing really good on your day trading. Okay, so I would start small like that, yeah, for sure, because I've heard of stories, horror stories of people starting day trading with like $80,000, and they turn $80,000 into $100 because no one told them about stop losses, nobody told them about risk management. Nobody told them about, you know, how much leverage they should be using, and nobody told them, you know, what the dangers are with like revenge trading and getting emotional about trading. So yeah, starting off small, probably your best bet. And I would also say try to do a demo account if you can first. With if you go on the WEEX exchange, you don't even have to trade with your real money at first. You can do demo trading here. You click on demo trading. You can trade with basically fake money or paper trading, and it's a great way to get used to the exchange with like how much you know, you're gonna put into a position. All right, and then you can figure out, you know, how much leverage are you gonna use. You can figure out the buttons to click here when you're demo trading. And of course, if you blow up your demo account, you can always put more money into the demo account. That's the other cool thing about the demo account. It's like you're not blowing away your real money. And then once you actually get good demo trading, then you can start doing the actual trading where you go into like the futures account, and then you can start trading with your real money. Okay, so that's what I would suggest for the beginners out there, is to start with demo trading first before you get into trading your own money, because you probably most likely as a beginner you'll blow up your account. You'll probably turn $1,000 into $100 or $10. You'll probably turn, you know, $10,000 into a grand or $100 because you'll be learning, and you'll learn all the bad habits first and how to get rid of them. And then once you get rid of those bad habits, then the next thing you're going to learn is, can you actually just break even? Can you just have your wins cancel out your losses? And then once you're able to do that, then you start realizing that you can make some money, and you just got to get better at your decision making and not over trade and not revenge trade. And then you can start taking advantage of the market when it gives you the trade setups and opportunities out there, and you can actually start making money and turning a small account into a big account. Okay, or turn a big account into an even bigger account. Anyways, that's my spiel about the beginners and day trading here. Definitely would start paper trading and demo account trading if you can. All right, let's see. We got Laureen looking alive, and we gotta look at C-Pool for Laureen because you know, she said it a while ago and haven't gotten around to it. But here we go. Here we go, Laureen. This is for you. What exchange do you want to look at C-Pool on? I see this on Kraken exchange. I guess we could try Kraken, right? I got the daily time frame open up here. Let me know, Laureen, if you want me to look at it as a day trade, because I can go into smaller time frames. But we're just gonna look at this as if we're like just regular swing trading, spot trading, and we're not doing any leverage, okay? And we're gonna look at the daily time frame here to get an idea as like what this thing could do. So here we go. We got C-Pool trading at 3 cents, down 0.74% today. And what has C-Pool done? Let's just get an idea as like where it's been, so we can have an idea as like where it might go next. And you can just see that C-Pool has been in a downtrend ever since like August of last year. It had some of its best moments of its life, of its livelihood when it was at 59 cents here in December of 2024. So this thing has dropped down 90% for sure, for damn sure. Probably a 95% drop. Could something like this do another 95% drop? Possibly. And if it does that, that would suck, right? But are we bottoming out? Are we done dropping down for now? Because obviously you've been making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower lows, and you are still in the downtrend. But what I could make out of this could possibly be, I mean, if you continue making higher lows, the next order of business is to make a higher high. And the last high that I see here was back here on December 26th. This thing got as high as like 4.5 cents. But it was like a candlewick high, and I don't know. We'll see if it can get above 4.5 cents. That would be nice to see, because then you can make the case that this thing is making higher highs and higher lows, right? You want to see something like this, where we actually go up in price. Maybe we come up to this 50-day moving average, get rejected at like 5.5 cents, but it's going to be a higher high than this last high here. Then we come back down. We don't actually come all the way down. Maybe we make a higher low somewhere around here, and then we launch up and make a higher high again, and that's how you know you're in an uptrend, right? But we gotta see something like that here for C-Pool for us to become bullish and put more money to work on it. Okay. Now, I don't know what C-Pool does, but I probably don't need to know. I can just look at the charts here to kind of figure out what might come next here, and I just know that right now C-Pool, it's close to maybe creating a double bottom here. If it goes down to like where it was here on Thursday, December 18th, you know, it was as low as like 2.027 pennies here. You could still make a double bottom here and then launch your way up to higher prices here. And if it's a double bottom, then it literally has bottom in the name. It's written in the name, right? If you have a double bottom, then that means you bottom out, and you're going to see higher prices here for C-Pool. Now, let's see. Is there any momentum? Let's look at the momentum. Are we going to get momentum to the upside to go to higher prices here? On the daily time frame, on the MACD, you've been having buying pressure since like the beginning of November. However, I guess that buying pressure has just not been good enough, because the buying pressure was in the green here in November, but we were still making lower lows here. So the buying pressure just wasn't strong enough, but it was showing up. What this shows to me is that the buyers are stepping in, even though the prices are going down. The buyers are stepping in, okay? And here, if I could just pull up the RSI here, you can see that we had a very, you know, extremely oversold low here on November 3rd, where the RSI was up at 20.7. Then on December 1st, we had an RSI of like 26.81. And then here in December 18th, we had an RSI of 25.78. You could say that this could possibly be bullish divergence, right? Because what we got here, I just got to move the indicators here, but we got lower lows here on the price, and we got higher lows here on the RSI. That's your bullish divergence showing up. That's the beginning of trying to bottom out. Now, the next order of business, right, is to make a higher low, or at least do a double bottom. Okay? I think we can still make the higher low here and launch up. But if we were to come down and make the same kind of low that we did here on December 18th, that's okay. Because that could be a double bottom for us to launch up to higher prices still, okay? So you can see that the trend has kind of changed here, where we were going down, now we're going flat a little bit. And then, of course, after we went flat here, the next order of business is we got to get people excited again by going to higher prices. We got to go make a higher high. And I think, you know, coming up to this 50-day moving average at 5.5 cents, that'd be a good area to like justify that you're making a higher high than what you did here. And, you know, whoever buys at 3 cents is going to say, hey, I just doubled my money with this thing going up to like 5.5 cents. Or close to doubling my money, and they might put more money to work themselves, or they might tell their friends or whatever, their friends and family, hey, come join this coin because I doubled my money, and then their friends, you know, kind of jump in on the party and send this thing up to higher prices as well. So that would be what I see here with C-Pool, right? There's a possibility that you might be bottoming out here, but we'll have to look at this one again, right? This is an idea here. And we'll see if it actually plays out. We got to start seeing an uptrend though. We got to see a higher high, higher low, and then higher highs again. Mark, listen, Mark says he tried to go short on Ethereum. Let me just turn the music down a little bit. I feel like it's getting loud. He tried to go short on Ethereum. You believe it was a fake out. Now it's bullish. Yeah, I know. The markets can change like that on you. That's why we got to keep our stop losses relatively tight and in a acceptable position. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. You know, you might have to really look at the charts again, try to figure out why you're wrong. One of the worst things you could do with day trading is to like be wrong and then try to go in again with the same mentality, with the same direction bet, and then be wrong again and lose more money getting stopped out. I've done that before, right? I've been there before. And I've tried to like short when I shouldn't have been shorting, just to short again and then get stopped out, you know. And then same thing with long, and I tried to long when I thought like I was catching a bottom, and then the dip kept on dipping, and I tried to long again, and I get stopped out. And you know, you just gotta if you're wrong once, you gotta like at least, you know, back away from the computer or the phone, put the phone down or whatever you're using for trading. And you need to like take a break, like go do something for like an hour, you know, go to the gym, do some laundry, hang out with your kids or whatever, and then go back in the charts and try to figure out, you know, has something changed here by looking at the momentum indicators. Like, you know, in this case, I would go into the momentum indicators and I would look at the MACD and try to figure out, like, you know, if I was trying to long and I got stopped out, like, what's wrong? Okay, well, in this case, like the buying pressure is dying down here. Okay, and this could be on the daily time frame, or if you're day trading, you're probably looking at the 1 hour time frame. But if you see buying pressure dying down and you see like the MACD about to cross over, then you can be like, all right, well, there might be some more selling here, because when the MACD crossovers to the downside, that probably means you're going to get red candles showing up, and then you're going to see prices go down. And in this case, I'm looking at C-Pool in the daily time frame, and it's showing that, you know, buying pressure is dying down, and, you know, C-Pool might actually drop down in price here on the daily time frame. However, something to keep in mind here is that sometimes buying pressure does die down, and then it starts increasing, and then it'll die down again, and it starts increasing, and it never actually goes into red here. Okay, so that's you know, the MACD indicator is helpful, but you shouldn't be the only indicator that you use. That's why we use other indicators, you know, such as like the market cipher B. And in this case, I can see, like, you know, money flow, in this case, it's been decreasing. It's in the red. So if I see money flow staying in the red, and if I see money flow like increasing and going further into the red, then I know, you know, there might be something wrong where this thing might actually want to go down rather than go up. So yeah, when you're when you're trying to figure out, you know, whether you should be long or shorting, I like to look at the momentum indicators to help me figure out what the direction of the trade might be over the next few hours, or, you know, if you're in it for the long term, what the next few days might be like. All right, let's see. Luke says, do I trade options? I used to trade options back in the day when I was in stocks. Well, I still am in stocks. I just don't trade them like I used to. In stock market, that was like the only way I could trade. That was the only way I could like bet that a stock was going to go down, was like trading options, because for the most part, there's not really any futures. There's like no futures on single stocks. I think they're trying to do that, but there's not really a way to do that. But you can do it with options, and I have trade options. I've done like LEAPs. I've done like, you know, long-term equity appreciation securities where you take out like a long-term, like a year-out option or something like that. And I've also done like, you know, weekly and monthly options where it expires like the next month or the next week and stuff like that. I've done that before. Yes, I've done that with stocks. I've been investing in stocks ever since I turned 18 years old. And I'm not gonna give my age out, but you know, it's almost, yeah, it's been more than a decade of being investing in the stock market. And then I've been trading and investing in crypto since like 2017. So that's like almost what, 9 years now with crypto. All right, let's see. Let me just catch up on the chat here. What do I think about SMCI? Is it SMCI or MSCI? And then Dope Go Crazy wants to check out Tilray. Is that Tilray? The stock? You want me to check out the stock? I think that's like the weed stock, right? I'm gonna write that down as a request here. Tilray. Yep, I got you. I remember Tilray. I remember when it first came out. I actually, I don't know if I got invested in, because I was like, man, this thing is just moving way too fast when it first came out. I remember Tilray when it first hit like $100. That was crazy. All right, let's see what else. I'm just catching up on the chat here. Dream 2Cation says after January 18th we will go up. You talking about for crypto? Oh, and yeah, all right. Dream 2Cation is he's an astrology guy here. He likes talking about the new moon and full moons. Dream 2Cation, I'm sorry, Dream 2 Action says that new moon coming soon. It's usually bearish. Yeah, I think that's like this weekend, right? Isn't there a new moon? All right, let's see. And Economy Tracker says hello. Hello to you, Economy Tracker. All right. Okay. So yeah, just finish it up here on C-Pool, Laureen. Just be careful. You know, the buying pressure is kind of dying down here on the MACD, on the daily time frame. But we've had these little fake outs where the buying pressure dies down and then increases, and then it dies down and then it increases again. So maybe the buying pressure is actually about to increase again for C-Pool, and you know, right now might actually be, you know, this could possibly be the lowest low, or like the lowest point you can get, and then maybe this ends up being a higher low here for C-Pool. So I would be ready to add to C-Pool if I was inclined to do that, if you're interested in doing that. Kumeka wants me to look at Dogecoin. All right. And then I see we got Jay in the YouTube chat here asking for APLD. I wrote that down. That's going to be after Tilray here. All right. Let's get to it. So we're going to look at Tilray and then APLD and then Dogecoin. So we're looking at Tilray, which is a stock that is involved in the weed business. And this thing is currently trading at $9.46. We're looking at the daily time frame here. Unless you want me to look at smaller time frames, but we're going to stick to daily time frames here for now on Tilray. Just showing you guys some previous history here. This stock came out like in like 2019, I believe. And oh wow, there must have been a stock split, because this is thing showing that it got up to like 3,000. Yeah, there had to be a stock split, because I don't I don't remember Tilray going up to $3,000. In stock market world, what happens when stocks that drop down, what they'll do is if it goes down to like a penny or two, they'll do a reverse stock split and bring it back up to like $10 again. And if it drops down again, they'll do the same thing. If it goes from like $10 down to like a penny again, they'll do a reverse stock split. And yeah, I think that might have happened here with Tilray, to be honest with you. All right, see, yeah, see, there's a reverse split here. that happened on December 2nd, where if you had one share, you end up getting well, actually, now if you had 10 shares, you only get like one new share here, and that's usually not good when they have to do a reverse stock split. It's better to get a regular stock split where you get more shares, but the price goes down lower, but you're still holding on to your position there. Anyways, Tilray currently still in a downtrend. You had something going on here back in June where you caught some bids here in June. I think that might have been just the overall market after Trump's tariffs. Although, I don't know, you tell me, was there something specific with Tilray or the industry where they started catching some bids here? Because Tilray actually topped out here in October at like 23 bucks, $23.20. Came down violently in this I don't know if you want to call it a falling wedge or just descending channel here. Created a higher low, then shot up again. Yeah, this is looking just like any other altcoin. This is like very altcoin behavior like, okay? But the good bit of news I could tell you is that with Tilray that you are above the 200-day moving average. You're above this red line. If you're above that, I can be cautiously optimistic and bullish here. I would be more bullish if this thing got above the 50-day moving average, this green line at $12.01. So just looking at the moving averages here, you can play this if you're a moving average guy. You can buy when we get to the 200-day moving average, and then you can sell when we actually get up to the 50-day moving average if you want to trade it like that. Okay? Because that's going to be your support and that's going to be your resistance, right? $12 is your resistance and $9, or well, $8.86 is going to be your support here for Tilray. Now I'm going to pull up this fancy dancy VRVP indicator to figure out what the actual levels to be looking for using volume and data here from the volume. And this is the volume visual range volume profile indicator. And it's showing me that the majority of people that bought and sold Tilray over the last few months here, they did it at this blue line. This is the point of control, the POC, and that's sitting at 11.75. So yeah, this 11.75, $12 area going to be a problem for Tilray to get above, okay? Until it can prove that it's no longer a problem, and then if we can use this as support rather than resistance, you can see the volume drops off here in the VRVP indicator. There's a little bit of volume here at 13.90. And then it drops off again, and then the value area high, this white line, is going to be probably a really good area to try to sell your Tilray at. That's $16.12. That's your value area high. And this is all taking data from the VRVP indicator, which is showing you the buys and sells. The green is the buys, the magenta or the red is the sells. And the more buys and sells at a specific price point, gives you an idea. Is like that's a pretty important area to pay attention to. In this case, the highest volume node, right, this being the node right here, is this blue line, that point of control at 11.80. So I think that's going to be a problem for Tilray to get above, getting up to like 11.80, 12 bucks here. However, to the downside, you do got another high volume node right below you, and this is at like $8.80. This is the value area low, this white line right here. And that should provide support to prevent you from going lower. If you were to break through that support, there's another high volume node here sitting at 740, okay? And you basically be buying Tilray at the same price as the people that got lucky enough to buy it at the beginning of December when it was at like 703 and 690 over here. So that's some targets to look for in the downside for Tilray in the meantime. All right. Just catching up on the chat. Mark here on TikTok says you had it at just over $1. It had to be a stock split. It dropped the whole time you owned it. Oh yeah, yeah. When a stock does a stock split, it's usually not a good thing. And it doesn't mean that the price is going to continue going up after it does the split. It could just continue going down because it means there's something wrong with the stock, to be honest with you. And it gets to be so bad when it goes down to like below $1 that they're like, oh man, let's get it back up to $10. We're just gonna do a reverse stock split and get it back up to 10 bucks again. Yeah. So But I don't know. Right now, do I need to get into momentum here? What is the momentum indicator showing here for Tilray? You are kind of making higher lows here on the MACD, and a little bit of green buying pressure here. So I don't know. Maybe things might get better for Tilray. I'm not sure, but this thing is kind of wishy-washy, and you had a severe selling going on here in October, November, and then you got the buying showing up here in December. But now it's kind of like wishy-washy price action on the MACD right now. All right, let's move on from Tilray. We'll take a look at APLD, and then we'll take a look at Dogecoin. Applied Digital Corporation. How you doing, Jay? I guess I could probably answer that by seeing how your stock is doing here, because I know you like to request this one all the time. Let's see. APLD currently trading at $37.40. Potential double top action here at $39.50 and $40 here. All right. Unless, if this is not going to be a double top, you got to punch through it, okay? But, right now the resistance has got $40 here for APLD, okay? However, this thing looks like it's very bullish because you are above the 200, the 100, the 50, and the 21 exponential moving average. Anytime I see this, I know this, whatever asset I'm looking at is extremely bullish because these lines are in the correct order. The 200 should be below the 100, the 100 should be below the 50, and the 50 should be below the 21 EMA. And with price being above all of this is extremely bullish, okay? Which leads me to believe that if this thing does pull back, it's probably going to do a shallow pullback. It's not going to actually pull back that hard. However, if it does pull back a little bit hard here, we got the 21 EMA sitting at 29.63. That's an idea for a support zone, which is right below this golden pocket level on the Fibonacci. So I think 29 and $30 is where you can get some relatively cheap applied digital if you're lucky enough to get there. However, this thing being so damn bullish, I wouldn't expect it to go lower than $34 here because that's your 786 retracement. Anytime something's extremely bullish, it usually just does a shallow pullback, and all you get is like a 786 retracement, and that's it. Okay. However, this was pulled back. I mean, I pulled the Fibonacci from like $40 down to like $13 was the low right around here, and it has already hit these Fibonacci levels here. Okay. But like now, I just think like this thing is making higher low, higher low, higher low. This could be another higher low, and we might be ready to bust out of APLD here to higher prices, where we could see this thing get up to the Fibonacci extension level here, the 1272 at $47. That's your target to the upside. Okay, and then another target to the upside if this thing is extremely bullish and still staying bullish. Then you got the 1618 at $56.91. That is your next target after $47 here. So that's what I see here for APLD. Now, can it actually do that? We gotta look at the momentum now. Does it have the momentum to do it? And now here I gotta adjust my indicators here one more time. All right. And looking at the MACD. You had the MACD crossover to the upside on January 2nd, and you've been getting green buying pressure. However, buying pressure has been dying down, so it's not the strongest move to the upside. I want to see buying pressure continue to increase if it was very extremely bullish, but this is still good enough to keep you going up to higher prices here. The buying pressure, which was in dark green, coming into light green here. If this was to continue to die off here on the buying pressure, then you'll start seeing this blue line curve down. And then it will eventually curve down and catch up to the orange line. And if you get the MACD crossover to the downside, I would take profit for damn sure, because that might be the highest price you'll be able to get, and it's going to probably want to you'll probably start seeing profit taken if this thing is crossing over to the downside here on the MACD. Market cipher B does have a green buy dot here though, and it came in today after you had a red sell dot on Thursday. So that's like, that's interesting. So it's told you to sold yesterday, and it said, never mind, you can continue buying today. So yeah, I would, if I'm in APLD, I would definitely pay attention to a red sell dot if it happened near the oversold horizontal bars, the overbought horizontal bars over here. This is like an RSI indicator here. When you get extremely overbought and you see a red sell dot somewhere in this area, for damn sure you should probably click the sell button and take some profit, because it probably means you're going to be topping out here on APLD. But you haven't had that yet. Matter of fact, you had a green buy dot that came in, so I think this thing wants to go to 47 bucks, my friend there. Dope Go Crazy says Monday is Martin Luther King Day. Yep, I'll still be here on Monday. So I guess that means the stock market won't be open, yeah. But cryptocurrency markets will be open. They're open 7 days a week, 365 days in a year, 366 on a leap year. Hello, Jessica Tran. Thank you for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. Thank you. And let's see. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about Dogecoin. Yep, I got you. Dogecoin's coming up after this one. APLD. After APLD, we're finishing up here. All right. All right. You said that you bought Dogecoin and you don't know if it's good or bad. From if you could tell me where you bought it at, I could probably tell you, give you a better analysis on whether that was a good area to buy or sell. Once again, this is not financial advice. Let me put out that disclaimer here, guys. I'm not a financial advisor, so I cannot act or pretend to be a financial advisor. I never want to be your financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube and TikTok giving my opinion here about these cryptocurrencies and stocks. And you can do whatever you want with your money, but I'm not the one pushing the buy and sell button, okay? That's what you have to do on your own. And if you need a lot more help, whether you need to, figure out whether you're going to buy or sell, then and you need that extra help, then you should find a financial advisor. But I am not that guy. Okay, let's just get that on tape here, on video. I am not your financial advisor, so don't sue me, bro, if things don't work out. Okay. All right. Anyways, now that I got that disclaimer out, let's look at Dogecoin. All right, so Dogecoin currently trading at 13, a little bit under 14 cents here, down 1.79% today. And Dogecoin on the daily time frame here, very exciting to see that it was able to get above the 21 EMA, this white line, and it did it here in January 1st, January 2nd, around this time. And it caused some bids. It had a really good first week of January, and then the second week of January was just terrible. Hopefully you were able to buy some here, some Dogecoin at this area, because right now Dogecoin at 0.137 pennies, we're kind of like testing this 21 EMA. This 21 EMA should act as support. It's acted as support on January 12th. Could be acting as support here on January 16th, today. Maybe tomorrow we might get a green day. Okay. If not, then 21 EMA. If that's not going to act as support, then how much further could we go down? I mean, we could revisit the levels that we were at back in the beginning of this month, where we're at like 12 cents. Okay, and if that's the case, if we drop down from where we are to 12 cents, you could be looking at 14% decline from where you are. So just be prepared that you could lose 14% of your money in Dogecoin right now if we go back to where we were at the beginning of the month here. All right, so if that didn't scare you and you're still gonna try to stay in Dogecoin here, I do like the fact that Dogecoin is kind of creating what could be a potential bull flag here. Right, so we are making lower lows obviously here, and we are making lower highs. If Dogecoin comes down a little bit further, maybe tomorrow, like around like 13 pennies. We're already at like we're above 13 and a half pennies, but if it comes down like closer to like 13 pennies or below 13 pennies, that could be a good buy zone for you to buy some Dogecoin. And then you would want to sell when you get up to like 14 and a half pennies here, the top of this flag. Okay. I would buy here, especially for the day traders out here. I would buy here near 13 pennies, and I would try to sell at 14 and a half pennies. But you don't have to sell all of it, okay? You can sell like half your position, maybe keep half of it just in case, because if we punch out of this bull flag here, then we could probably come up to this 50-day moving average at 15 and a half pennies, or we could come up to this 100-day moving average at 18 and a half pennies, and that's a good payday, right? To go from 13 to 18, that's almost like a 50% gain, right? Let me just measure that out real quick here. If we were to go to that 100-day moving average, that's about, well, maybe not 50%, but about 34% gain, okay? Which is still a decent gain. You know, a lot of stock market guys would love to get that kind of gain, right? But then here at the 200-day moving average, that 200-day moving average would be like a 40% gain. So I would probably be targeting these moving averages to the upside here. And I know, like, you know, initially when Dogecoin does get up to this green line here, that should act as resistance. So I would take profit at 15 and a half cents. I say 15 and a half, but it's right now it's at 0.157 to be exact. But like in this zone is where I would take profit on Dogecoin initially, okay? And then take more profit when it gets up to this 100-day moving average and this 200-day moving average. If it's able to do that, we just don't know. We don't know if it's going to actually go up to this 200-day moving average. That's why we take a little bit of profit here, because we just don't know. Are we going to continue going up to higher prices? If not, if we just get rejected off the 50-day and come back down, at least you made some money by taking profit over here. All right, we got Laureen is in YouTube now, and Kitty Kush says the music is a little bit too loud. All right, let me go ahead and try to adjust that. I tried to turn it down as much as I could, but let me see if I I don't think I can turn it down anymore on that end, so I would have to do it on my computer here. So I just turn it down some more here. Hopefully that helps. But I appreciate that feedback there, because I don't know. I am in my room, you know, just talking to you guys. I got the music on. I can kind of hear it with my ears if it's loud, but I don't know if it's too loud for you. So if it is too loud, I appreciate the feedback, so I can actually make those adjustments. So Kumek is asking, so does that mean that Doge will go down? It could go down. It could go down. We didn't look at the momentum. All right, let's try to figure out the momentum here for Dogecoin with the MACD indicator here. Okay, so the MACD indicator is showing that buying pressure is dying down here on Dogecoin, and on the daily time frame. And then this blue line looks like it's curving down, and it could cross that orange line to the downside. So Dogecoin might end up going down to lower prices, most likely. However, you cannot rely on just the MACD crossover, okay? Because what could happen here, right? And I'm gonna just draw this out. This thing could like do a fake out where it pretends it's going to go down, and then boom, the blue line goes up because buying pressure here, this green stuff starts increasing again, okay? And then that's like a little bit of a fake out on the MACD indicator here, and that's going to cause the price of Dogecoin to go up. So an idea is, if you're not sure, like I'm not sure, it sounds like you already have some Dogecoin, okay? So, you know, you could hold on to your Dogecoin, right? But if you want to buy some more Dogecoin, we could get this fake out, and you know, we could see green candles going into tomorrow, and you'll be happy that you bought at 13 cents, because you know tomorrow it could be at 14 or 15 cents. Okay, so that's just an idea. It's a fake out. But right now the trend is looking like it wants to go down. So maybe, you know, maybe tomorrow might be a better day. You could buy it at 13 or even 12 cents. Right now the trend is saying that it should go down. And then, you know, figuring out how far down is, you know, we're just using these trend lines here as guidelines here. And this downtrend line here, it shows that, you know, we could probably come down like 13 cents. Maybe a few days from now, maybe next week, we might actually go below 13 cents. If we're going to still stay in this this flag here, this bull flag. And it's only a bull flag because we started from the bottom and we went up to the top here, and then we started flagging out. If we were starting from like the top here, and then we came down here, then this would end up being a bear flag. But because we came from the bottom and then we entered the flag, this is a bull flag for now. Even though the flag is trending downward, it's still a bull flag. J3WK says, could you see XLM? Yeah, I could take a look at XLM for you. Let me go ahead and write that down. XLM. All right. And Lorraine, since you're still here on the YouTube chat, let me make sure I can make you a moderator here. I'm gonna make you a moderator. Let me go ahead and I gotta do that here on my YouTube live stream. Give me a second here, guys. I want to make Lorraine a moderator. Yep. All right. So Lorraine, you're now a mod on YouTube. Congratulations. And thank you, higher level junk, for following me here on TikTok. And thank you, Kumeka, for the that nice comment there. Appreciate that. All right. Oh, you gonna take a screenshot of the YouTube, Lorraine? That's funny. Yeah, you can send that to me in Discord. You can just like private message me that. That'd be fun to watch, fun to look at. Mark says you just sold your Nvidia position to rotate capital into crypto. Okay. I think Nvidia's been had a good year last year and the year before that. I know it had a little bit of pullback the last couple of months. I bought some Nvidia today in the stock market because we had that good bit of news that there's like $250 billion that's going to be invested in America here. They're going to be building more chip factories here in the United States, and that's going to cause Donald Trump to lower tariffs on Taiwan, and anything that's built in Taiwan is going to have less tariffs, which is going to be good for Nvidia and the semiconductors. So that's one reason why I bought a couple more shares of Nvidia. Yeah, I just added to my Nvidia position. But you said you took it out and you're going into crypto. That's you know, I don't do financial advice, so I wish you the best of luck on that. Hopefully it ends up playing out well for you. All right. Oh, you bought Nvidia at $110. That's awesome. All right, let me move on from Dogecoin to XLM here. I know I got it in my watch list here. Gotta find it. Where is XLM? Oh, there you go. You're right near Dogecoin. How could I miss you? All right, there we go. So we're now looking at Dogecoin, currently trading at not Dogecoin. We're looking at XLM, currently trading at 22.5 cents roughly. I have this previous Fibonacci analysis here, which I think could still be useful here. So I'm going to leave it alone. However, we did hit some levels that I probably marked off by using the VRVP indicator here. But I got levels to look for. Above us is like 23.5 cents, which is where this golden pocket level is. And then I got another level to look for, 25 cents roughly. It's kind of like where we topped out here on XLM on January 5th and January 6th. Wow, we had a really bad week here on the second week of January here. Then we caught the bids here, but then just selling off again. I don't know if I like that. Why do you gotta be so mean to the investors of XLM here, Stellar? Why are you doing that? You are staying above the 21 EMA on the daily time frame, so that's acting as support. Anytime, well, we try to lose it today, but we didn't. And here we got above the 21 EMA, and we are kind of almost creating a hammer candle. This is a price reversal candle here. This could mean that we might be going up to higher prices tomorrow and throughout the weekend going into next week for Stellar Lumens. You got a price reversal hammer candle starting to develop here. That's cool. We got what, one more hour, an hour and a half left before this candle closes, but I like this candle here. This shows that the sellers try to push the price down, but the buyers came in, they pushed it right back up again. And if the buyers continue pushing this, they're going to frustrate the crap out of the bears and the short sellers. The short sellers are going to get stopped out, and you might see some green candles tomorrow for Stellar Lumens. XLM. All right, we got Alexa in the chat here. She says that she does trading signals and she does Forex. That's awesome. Go ahead and send me a follow here, Alexa, and I'll follow you back. Check out your channel if you got a good channel to look at. All right. So anyways, yeah. So I think Stellar Lumens might have a good weekend. Possibly. Maybe we get back up to 23.5 cents here, get back into that golden pocket area. And then we'll see, you know, if we can get up to this 786 retracement at 24 cents. And then try to get back up to 25 cents one more time here for Stellar Lumens. Now, if we get to 25 cents, you should be taking profit. And then you got this 50-day moving average. This green line could act as resistance. Okay. And I think by the time the price rises... Remember, this green line's coming down at the same time. I think by the time these two meet, it might actually meet at 25 cents. And 25 cents might be where you need to get out of Stellar Lumens if you're inclined to try and get rid of some of your spot bags here. I think 25 cents is a good area to get out. Weeza Bet says, have I ever traded WorldCoin? No, I haven't. And thank you, Alexa, for following me. I'll go ahead and follow you back. Thank you. What's going on here? Lorraine, you said you fixed my screen. What's wrong with the screen here? Yeah, what happened, Lorraine? You said something about was there something wrong with my my TikTok there? You said something about the screen, and then all of a sudden you decided to go on YouTube here. You couldn't see? Really? Well, we got like 12, 13 people here on TikTok. I haven't heard anybody else say that they couldn't see my my stream here. Oh, it's okay now? Oh, you couldn't see the prices. All right. Well, oh, was it because I was moving the camera around and you couldn't see the price? I'm sorry. I try to be, you know, cognizant of that, right? But my bad, my bad. You know, I think maybe Monday or Tuesday I'll do a TikTok live stream horizontally. I'll do it from TikTok Live Studio, and then I'll do the YouTube on the phone. Yeah. So then the YouTube guys can complain about the screen. But yeah, I'll try to do YouTube on the phone next time. So all right. So just finish it up on Stellar Lumens. Upside prices, I already gave you upside prices. Downside prices, I kind of gave you downside prices. But this thing could come down and actually hit that 0.236 level at 21 cents here. Now let's see. What are we likely to do here based off of the momentum indicators here? The MACD. Buying pressure died down a week ago. Then it started increasing on Monday and Tuesday here. Then it's died down a little bit more. Okay. But we want to see buying pressure increase and do it in a vigorous fashion here where we can see some higher prices for the XLM. But just know that the overall trend is downward, so we might start seeing some profit taken here on XLM soon. I think you'll definitely see profit taken when we hit 24 or 25 cents on XLM. So that's what the MACD is showing here. And then on market cipher B, you got a red sell dot. Money flow is coming downward, and you actually entered the red here, so I don't know. I think the profit taking might already be starting on XLM. That's the problem here. So we shall see. We shall see. But yeah, people taking profits. If once they're done taking profits, maybe this thing might go back up again this weekend. But I think, you know, if we don't see profit taken this weekend, then they'll probably do some profit taking next week. and XLM might actually just, I don't know, it might make a lower high. It might not get back above 24 25 cents. Okay, we shall see. But I think if we do get up to 24 25 cents, they will definitely take their profits, and you'll see this thing come down. So we shall see. That's what I got for XLM. Let's see. Do we have any other requests here? We had a question about WorldCoin, but I already answered that. I don't know if you want me to look at WorldCoin. All right, guys, if you could double tap the screen, we had 20,000 likes here on TikTok. I appreciate, I gotta thank Laureen for that, because she probably did like half of those likes. But yeah, thank you, Laureen. You just gave me the sunglass gift. Appreciate that. And thank you, Hardbody. If you guys double tap your screen, that's how you send the likes here. Let's see if we can get up to like 22,000 likes here. And my YouTube guys, yeah. That's all we gotta do is make sure the likes match the amount of people in the live stream right now, and I think we're gonna be doing all right there too. Thank you guys, and guys, if you're new to the YouTube or TikTok, go ahead and follow me, subscribe to the channel, so you can see more TA like this with Damien on the Meet Damien channel here. I am Damien, and we do technical analysis, and we do day trading and swing trading. And long-term investments, we do it all here. Looking at the charts, trying to figure out what might come next here for these coins and crypto. Has Bitcoin gone up since? It's at the same price that I started the live stream at. I want to go back to Bitcoin and see what could come next here for Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin could go up because Wall Street is no longer going to be able to sell on us anymore. And if people take the money from their paychecks and start putting it into crypto, we could see, Bitcoin and crypto go up to higher prices this weekend. Look at the 1 hour time frame. Market Cipher B shows that we had a green buy dot here on the 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And momentum's going to the upside, and money flow looks like it's trying to creep up to the upside here. And then here on the 1 hour time frame, MACD for Bitcoin. You did get the MACD crossover to the upside, and you're getting some green buying pressure candles showing up. So I think we could be all right for Bitcoin to go to higher prices later on tonight, and then we'll see what it's like going into tomorrow. And let's see, look at the 4 hour time frame. We did have selling pressure. Obviously, the last couple of days has caused Bitcoin to creep down in price ever since we hit 97,800 or 900, somewhere in that area. But now selling pressure for today, or at least recently this afternoon, selling pressure is starting to die down, probably because Wall Street's not around. And if we start seeing seller pressure die down on the 4 hour time frame, we're going to probably have a good weekend for Bitcoin to go up to higher prices here. Maybe retest 97,000, 98,000 all over again. So I see the possibilities here where Bitcoin could climb back up to 97,900 one more time here. But if it does that, I would just be wary that on Sunday night or maybe Monday morning when Wall Street opens up for business here, they might send us back down again. Because I've been paying attention to that this week. Wall Street has been clicking the sell button when they open up for business here. They did the opposite last week. Last week, the first week, I would say the first week of January, they were actually buying on top of the retail investors that were buying during the weekends. Wall Street was buying Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, like the first week of January, and then they decided to go back to selling again, and they got more Bitcoin to sell than we do. So when they're not on our side and they're not buying Bitcoin, it becomes a problem. And you kind of saw that this morning here, where what was it, around 9 o'clock, right? Was it 9 o'clock? Yeah, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Like, here we go, right? Here's 8 o'clock. We're just trading flat, and then 9 a.m. Eastern time, we get a red candle here, and then 10 a.m. Eastern time, that's when they dropped Bitcoin down to 94,200. But they dropped it down to this 50 moving average, which acted as support, and since then it's been acting as support. So let's try to maintain this upward trend here on the 50 moving average and not go below it. If you're day trading, you could try to enter a long on Bitcoin at 94,800, where that 50 moving averages is that, and that could be an idea to scoop up some cheap Bitcoin for a long. And then you can put your stop loss right below, you know, the 50 moving average, or you could put it below one of these candle wicks here on the 1 hour time frame. You could keep it really conservative and just put your stop loss right below the low for today at 94,200. And if we're gonna climb up to higher prices, then you won't get stopped out. That's what I would try to do if I was trying to long Bitcoin right now. All right, let's see. Yep, I just gave the update there on Bitcoin. Hopefully you were able to follow along with all that. T says Solana yeah, I actually did notice Solana was doing pretty good today. We'll take a look at Solana real quick. And then I think that might be the last request here, guys, because I do want to get my weekend started here. I will go live again on Monday, same time slot, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. Unless anything changes, then I'll let you guys know in the Discord or on Twitter. I do have a Meet Damien Twitter, guys, here. If you guys want to follow me here on Twitter. I need to start talking more about my Twitter here. I actually am on Twitter. That's my handle, the Meet Damien 21 Twitter handle. And here you'll see like when I go live, and I just post up some interesting stuff here related to crypto and stocks. And yeah, I usually post up when I go live, and like you can watch my YouTube live streams here. The links are there to watch the replay if you missed it on TikTok here. All right, going back to Solana. Solana, how are you looking on the 1 hour time frame? You got the buying pressures already here for Solana. So yeah, Solana's 1 hour time frame looks better. The MACD looks better than Bitcoin right now. Market Cipher B, you got a green buy dot here on 12 p.m. Eastern time. And you got money flow in the green. That's good to see. Let's zoom out to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, I am looking to sell some of my spot bags for Solana when it gets up to like $150, $151, because that's right where the 50 moving average is on the daily time frame. The 50 simple moving average. I would expect Solana to either go sideways or maybe get rejected. I'd be pleasantly surprised if Solana just says, I don't care, I'm just going to go shoot up to higher prices. But I feel like that's highly unlikely. I think when we get up to 150 bucks, people are going to take profit on Solana, such as myself. And then we'll see if Solana can continue on up to the other moving averages above us at 172. That's another area where we could see some more selling for Solana. And I'll be one of those people selling Solana at 170 if it does get up there. I got some spot bags on Solana that I'm holding on to. Now, if Solana does go down, I actually don't want to hold on to Solana and see it go down to 110 or lower. I got my stop loss on my Solana spot bags right below this candlewick low here in the daily time frame at $129.54. My stop loss is at 129. So if Solana goes below 129, I am out. I will see you guys later. I am not gonna try to find out if Solana's gonna go back up to 200 bucks again, because if we can't maintain this uptrend, then we're probably gonna continue on the downtrend to lower prices here on Solana. And if we continue on the downtrend, how much further could Solana go down? Like, we have seen Solana go down to $95 last year. It was like the lowest point for Solana, April 7th. Okay, but if that can't hold, let me just zoom out. I'm gonna turn on the VRVP indicator here. I got the VRVP indicator showing the high volume here. It's going from like 120 bucks to 140, like we're at right now. But then the volume drops off, and there is support at 95 bucks. However, if we lose 95 bucks, there'll be some more support here at 75, and then there'll be more support at like 57, 60 bucks here for Solana. So I don't want to stick around and lose 50% of my money in Solana. I'd rather just get stopped out at 129. That's my strategy. That's my idea. Maybe you guys might want to copy that, but This is not financial advice, so you can do whatever you want with your Solana. I just know that if Solana's not going to be able to stay above 129, I am out. Because I bought Solana back in 2022 and 2023 when it was like down here at like 13, 16 bucks. 20 bucks. I think the last major purchase was like October 2023 when it was at 30 bucks is when I bought my last major purchase of Solana, and I was able to benefit. And I've been selling Solana in 2024 and 2025 at 200 bucks and higher. And I still got some more to sell because I didn't want to take a big hit on my taxes by selling everything all in one year. But I'm okay with selling Solana at 150 for this year and 170 for next year. Well, not next, 170 later on this year if we actually do get up to 170 bucks. So yeah, but if I can't get 150 or 170, I'm okay with selling my Solana at 129, and that's it. And I'll take a look at it again maybe when it goes below 90 bucks. I'll say, hey, you know what? I might give it another shot. All right. Aaron Roach says, what have you missed out on? You pretty much missed out on like most of the live stream. I go live at like 4 p.m. Eastern time almost every day, Monday through Friday. And I was about to end the live stream here. We just talked about Solana. We talked about XLM, Dogecoin, APLD, Tilray, C-Pool, and we looked at total market cap 3 and Tether dominance. But if you want to look at the replay here, just go on to Meet Damien on Twitter here, right? Go ahead and give me a follow here on Twitter. I'm trying to build up my following here. I need to start working on that. And yeah, you can watch the replay here on YouTube. You just click on that link here on Twitter. It'll bring you over to YouTube, and you can watch the replay. Or you can just go on YouTube. Meet Damien on the YouTube channel here. That's my YouTube channel. You can go ahead and subscribe there, and you can watch the replay for this live stream. Okay. You had a long day at work. Yeah, I know. I usually catch people either on their lunch break or right after they get out of work is when I've been getting people to show up. But you can always watch the replays. That's the cool thing about YouTube is that you can watch the replays here. But yeah, that's me here on Meet Damien YouTube. Let's see, did I get any more subscribers here on YouTube? Not yet. But if you guys want to subscribe to the Meet Damien YouTube channel, let's try to see if I can get us up to 1,000 subscribers. That'd be cool. Right now, TikTok is just my bread and butter as far as followers go. Like, you guys got me up to like 6,000 followers here on TikTok. That's cool. All right. So let's see if we can get up to like 10,000 followers at some point here. All right, guys. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this live stream. We had a pretty good live stream. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. I think, finishing thoughts here, Bitcoin has the opportunity to go up to higher prices, and if we do, I think 97,000 or 98,000 is where we go up to. Try to retest 97,900, and then I think Wall Street might try to beat us back down again and push us down on Sunday night or Monday morning, because that seems to be like their playbook these days. Okay, but yeah, I will be with you guys here on Monday, same time, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. If anything changes, I'll let you know on Twitter, and I'll let you know on the Discord, the Meet Damien Discord channel here. Where I usually keep you guys up to date as to what's going on, and I put my YouTube live streams here. You can see that on the Meet Damien Discord, and that link, to join the Meet Damien Discord link is right here on TikTok. Okay, and for YouTube, it should be in the description to the video that you're watching, and also the description to my channel. All right, guys. Okay, I will see you guys on Monday. Take care. Good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you decide to get yourself into. Have a good night, guys.